You have to love the concept of non-dualism. It's just dualism pretending not to be, and thus it can never become a coherent monism, free of all the deadly contradictions of dualism. No rational person could ever regard non-dualism as anything other than an absurd and comical idea, inherently opposed to reason and logic. The only people who could ever be attracted to non-dualism are the trans-rational, i.e. the most grandiose irrationalists who are always drawn to a logical mush where they can ignore reason and logic and indulge themselves in their feelings, and mystical perceptions and intuitions, the things they love and that make sense to them. Reason and logic definitely do not. All these people would pursue rational and logical answers. Non-dualists are always empiricists and never rationalists. That's why they use meditation and mindfulness and certainly don't study reason, logic and mathematics. There's a simple reason why people don't get involved with reason, logic and mathematics. They find these extremely difficult. There's a simple reason why people get involved with faith, prayer, mysticism, meditation and mindfulness. They're easy. Anyone can do them. The whole point of being irrational and illogical is to avoid rational and logical paths to the truth. That's why the irrational pray and meditate and why they don't do anything rational and logical. The irrational must believe in a transcendent mystical state of faith and feeling. That's why they believe in God or non-dualism, and that's why they totally reject and hate the PSR and Occam's razor. Do you dare to face the hard questions? Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman said, "When faced with a difficult question, we often answer an easier one instead, usually without noticing the substitution." This is humanity in a nutshell. Humanity doesn't ask the hard question, "What is reality made of?" It substitutes it with a different question, a much easier one: "What do I want the answer to reality to be? What pleases me? What gives me what I seek psychologically? What answer is made in my image? What experiential state do I aspire to?" Think of how devastating it is for the search for truth that humans just keep swapping out hard questions for different questions, for easier ones. What is Wilber's integral theory? It's the answer to what New Agers want reality to be. It has nothing to do with actual reality. That's always the problem, of course. People are drawn to what they want the answer to be, not what the answer is. Ken Wilber makes use of a subject called spiral dynamics. Peter Buchanan wrote, "Spiral dynamics grew out of the work of Clare Graves, 1914-86, a professor of psychology who proposed a level theory of personality in 1966. This was further developed by his protégé Don Beck, working with Chris Cowan, into what has become known as spiral dynamics in the book of that name. As the name implies, spiral dynamics, a theory that meshes exactly with integral theory, charts the development of cultures through a rising, widening spiral of increasing complexity, not least because each culture envelops those preceding it as healthy resources to be called upon if situations demand it." It's telling that integral theory references a theory of personality. It certainly doesn't reference mathematics or science, or engage seriously with philosophy. None of that is of interest to the Wilberites. These integral types are meditators. They engage in mindfulness. They are not people of reason and logic. Ken Wilber said, "In integral psychology I present charts that summarize over 100 developmental psychologists, East and West, ancient and modern and postmodern. Spiral dynamics is only one of the 100, but I have recently been using it quite a bit because it is simple and fairly easy to learn, even for beginners." Based on extensive research begun by Clare Graves, spiral dynamics, developed by Don Beck and Christopher Cowan, sees human beings evolving or developing through 8 major waves of consciousness. The first 6 levels are subsistence levels marked by first-tier thinking. Then there occurs a revolutionary shift in consciousness, the emergence of being levels and second-tier thinking, of which there are 2 major waves. How the Wilberites love to imagine themselves as second-tier thinkers, breaking through to super-consciousness. That's their dream. That's how you hook them. You don't say to them, "I shall give you the total rational and logical explanation of reality." That's no good to them. That's of no interest.